Before you hand your suitcase to the airline agent, take a moment to think about what's inside. In 2026, every checked bag passes through advanced scanners designed to detect fire hazards, lithium batteries, pressurized containers, and objects that resemble explosive materials. If something triggers an alert, the bag is pulled from the system and opened by security. The item may be confiscated, and sometimes the bag doesn't even make the flight. What surprises most travelers is that these alerts are rarely caused by weapons. They're usually triggered by everyday items people pack without thinking. Lithium batteries alone have become such a concern that the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration recorded over 90 lithium battery incidents on aircraft in 2025, involving devices like power banks, phones, and laptops. That's why airlines are increasingly strict about what goes inside checked luggage. Today we're going through 24 items banned or heavily restricted in checked bags in 2026, and the last one is something millions of travelers accidentally leave in their suitcase every year. 24. Spare phone batteries. Spare phone batteries may look small, but inside airport screening systems, they are treated as a serious fire risk. Unlike batteries installed inside a device, spare lithium batteries are exposed metal contacts, capable of short-circuiting if they touch metal objects or other batteries. When that happens, the battery can rapidly heat up and ignite, a chain reaction known as thermal runaway. Inside a suitcase surrounded by clothing and fabrics, a lithium battery fire can spread quickly. That's why aviation safety rules require spare lithium batteries to travel in the passenger cabin, not inside checked luggage. Security officers frequently remove them when they appear on baggage scanners. Common places travelers accidentally pack them include inside camera bags, inside jacket pockets, inside electronics pouches. Even a small backup battery can cause a bag to be opened. 23. High-proof alcohol. Many travelers love bringing home alcohol from vacations. A rare Caribbean rum, a strong European herbal spirit, or a locally produced moonshine from a small distillery. But if that bottle contains more than 70% alcohol by volume, airlines no longer treat it as a beverage. They treat it as flammable liquid fuel. Alcohol at that concentration can ignite easily, especially if the bottle breaks under pressure changes during flight. That's why aviation regulations prohibit alcohol above the 70% threshold from both carry-on and checked luggage. Lower strength beverages are allowed under certain conditions, but extremely high-proof alcohol is not. Travelers often get caught by this rule when packing. Overproof rum, high-strength absinthe, homemade spirits. The scanner doesn't see a souvenir, it sees a flammable liquid. 22. Power banks. Power banks are one of the most common reasons checked bags get searched. At home, they feel harmless, just a backup charger for your phone. But in aviation safety terms, a power bank is a high-density lithium battery designed specifically to store large amounts of energy. That makes it far more dangerous in the cargo hold than most travelers realize. In fact, battery packs are responsible for a large percentage of lithium battery incidents on aircraft each year. If a power bank overheats inside a suitcase packed with clothing, the surrounding fabric can act as fuel. That's why spare lithium batteries and power banks must travel in carry-on baggage only. Airlines frequently remove them when discovered inside checked luggage. Common places they're accidentally packed include inside toiletry bags, inside laptop sleeves, inside backpack compartments. Now, the next item surprises a lot of travelers because it doesn't look like a battery or a weapon. But inside the aircraft cargo hold, it's treated as a pressurized, flammable container. 21. Spray paint. A can of spray paint might seem harmless if you're traveling with tools or materials for a project, but inside aviation safety systems, aerosol cans like spray paint are considered hazardous because they contain pressurized propellant gas. If a can leaks or ruptures in the cargo hold, the propellant can ignite or create flammable vapor. Temperature changes and air pressure differences during flight increase the risk. For that reason, industrial aerosol products like spray paint are banned from checked luggage. Security scanners easily identify the cylindrical metal container and internal pressure structure. Travelers often forget they packed items such as small repair paint cans, automotive touch-up sprays, rust removal aerosols. To airport security, these are not tools. They are pressurized, flammable materials. 20. Smart suitcases with non-removable batteries. Smart suitcases became popular over the past decade. They include built-in features like USB charging ports, Bluetooth tracking, digital locks, and GPS location systems. The problem is that these features require large lithium batteries hidden inside the suitcase frame. Airlines now require those batteries to be removable. If a smart suitcase contains a battery that cannot be easily removed, many airlines will refuse the bag entirely. That's because a damaged battery inside the luggage shell could overheat during transit. Travelers are often caught by this rule when using older smart luggage models where the battery is permanently installed. If the battery pack cannot be removed quickly, the suitcase may never make it onto the aircraft. The next item on this list is tiny, often less than the size of a coin. But aviation safety rules treat it as one of the most dangerous ignition risks you can pack in a suitcase. 19. Strike anywhere matches. Most travelers think all matches are the same, but aviation rules treat them very differently. Safety matches, the kind that only ignite on the special strip attached to the box, are sometimes allowed in limited quantities when carried on a passenger. Strike anywhere matches are completely different. They ignite through friction alone. Inside a suitcase that is being stacked, shifted, and compressed during baggage handling, friction can easily occur. That means a small box of matches could ignite unexpectedly in the cargo hold. Because of that ignition risk, strike anywhere matches are prohibited from both carry-on and checked baggage. Travelers often forget they pack them inside. Camping kits, emergency preparedness kits, outdoor cooking gear. To airport scanners, they're classified as a spontaneous ignition risk, not a harmless camping accessory. 18. Replica grenades or novelty explosives. Security scanners are designed to detect shapes and densities associated with explosive devices. That means a harmless novelty item can become a serious problem if it resembles something dangerous on an X-ray. Every year, airports encounter items like grenade-shaped lighters, novelty dynamite alarm clocks, and decorative explosive replicas. To a human eye, these might look like jokes or souvenirs, but scanners cannot interpret humor. They only detect shapes and materials that resemble explosive components. When an object with that profile appears in luggage, security protocols require immediate inspection and sometimes involvement of bomb disposal teams. That's why aviation authorities strongly advise travelers not to pack replica explosive devices in luggage at all. The next item traps outdoor travelers constantly. It's designed for safety in the wilderness, but inside an aircraft cargo hold, it becomes a completely different kind of hazard. 17. Bear spray. Bear spray is commonly carried by hikers visiting national parks and wilderness areas. The problem is that bear spray contains highly concentrated capsaicin compounds stored under extreme pressure. These canisters are designed to release a powerful chemical cloud capable of stopping a charging animal. If a canister leaks or ruptures inside an aircraft cargo hold, it could affect baggage handlers and airport personnel. Because of that risk, most airlines prohibit bear spray entirely from both checked and carry-on baggage. Travelers planning outdoor trips are usually advised to purchase bear spray at their destination rather than trying to fly with it. Common places travelers accidentally leave it include hiking backpacks, emergency car kits, and camping gear bags. 16. Butane curling irons and stylers. Cordless hair stylers powered by butane fuel cartridges have become popular travel accessories. They allow travelers to style hair without needing an electrical outlet. But the fuel source creates a problem for aviation safety. Butane is a highly flammable compressed gas. While some airlines allow one butane curling iron in carry-on luggage with a protective safety cover, spare butane cartridges are typically banned entirely. Packing these devices in checked luggage can trigger baggage inspection because scanners detect the pressurized fuel chamber. Travelers often pack them inside cosmetic bags, toiletry organizers, carry-on beauty kits. The device itself might be allowed under specific conditions, but the fuel cartridge often is not. 15. Heated jackets and heated vests. Battery-powered heated clothing has become extremely popular among travelers heading to cold destinations. These jackets and vests contain thin heating wires powered by compact lithium battery packs. The clothing itself is not dangerous. The battery pack is the issue. Many travelers fold the garment and place it directly inside checked luggage without removing the battery. But that battery is essentially the same type of lithium power source used in power banks. If it overheats or becomes damaged under heavy luggage, it could ignite. Airlines generally require lithium battery packs to travel in the passenger cabin, where crew can respond quickly if something goes wrong. Always remove the battery pack before checking heated clothing. The next item looks even smaller and more harmless than heated jacket battery, but inside aviation safety systems, it's treated exactly the same way as a power bank. 14. Rechargeable hand warmers. Rechargeable hand warmers have become a winter travel favorite. Unlike disposable chemical warmers, these devices contain rechargeable lithium batteries that produce heat for several hours. They're small enough to fit easily inside pockets or gloves. That convenience is exactly why travelers forget they packed them. Inside the baggage system, scanners detect the internal battery pack. And because it is not installed in a larger electronic device, it is treated as a loose lithium battery. That means it must travel in carry-on baggage. Travelers frequently leave them inside jacket pockets, glove compartments in luggage, winter gear bags. Even though the device looks harmless, the internal battery follows the same aviation rules as larger lithium electronics. Now, the next item on the list catches hikers and campers all the time, because even when it looks empty, aviation safety rules still treat it as flammable fuel. 13. Camp stove fuel. Campers and backpackers run into this rule constantly. Small camping fuel canisters might appear empty when you finish a trip, but aviation safety regulations still treat them as containers of flammable gas. Even trace amounts of vapor left inside a fuel canister can ignite if exposed to heat or pressure changes during flight. Because of that, airlines prohibit camping stove fuel containers from both checked and carry-on luggage. Security scanners recognize the metal container and internal pressure chamber immediately. Travelers often forget they packed them inside backpacking gear bags, outdoor cooking kits, emergency survival kits. To aviation regulators, even an empty fuel canister is still classified as a dangerous goods container. The next item is something millions of travelers bring on trips, especially photographers and drone owners, and it's responsible for a huge number of baggage searches every year. 12. Spare laptop batteries. Laptop computers themselves are sometimes allowed in checked luggage if they are completely powered off. But spare laptop batteries are treated differently. They are classified as loose lithium batteries, which present a higher fire risk if damaged or short-circuited. Because of this, aviation safety rules require spare batteries to be carried in the cabin and protected from contact with metal objects. Travelers often pack them accidentally inside laptop sleeves, camera equipment cases, and electronics organizers. To prevent short circuits, experts recommend covering the battery terminals or keeping them in their original packaging. Loose spare laptop batteries inside checked baggage are one of the most common reasons security officers open bags during screening. 11. Torch lighters and jet lighters. Torch lighters produce an extremely hot, concentrated flame. Unlike normal cigarette lighters, they use pressurized fuel to generate a powerful jet flame capable of reaching very high temperatures. Because of the fuel system and ignition design, many airlines prohibit torch lighters from both carry-on and checked luggage. Even small models can trigger alarms in the screening system. Travelers often pack them unintentionally inside cigar travel cases, camping toolkits, survival gear pouches. To aviation authorities, these lighters are classified as specialty ignition devices, which carry a higher risk than standard disposable lighters. The next item seems obvious, but airports still find it in luggage surprisingly often, especially after holidays and celebrations. 10. Fireworks. Even small fireworks are considered explosive materials under aviation safety regulations. This includes items many travelers assume are harmless souvenirs, such as sparklers, novelty firecrackers, small celebration fireworks. The reason is simple. Fireworks contain explosive compounds designed to ignite and produce sparks or explosions. Inside an aircraft cargo hold, even a small ignition event could create serious danger. Because of that, fireworks are completely banned from both carry-on and checked luggage. Security scanners detect the explosive composition and fuse components quickly. Travelers sometimes forget they packed fireworks after festivals, holidays, or vacation celebrations. 9. Electric toothbrushes. Electric toothbrushes are not banned from air travel. However, they can still trigger baggage searches for an unexpected reason. If a toothbrush activates inside a suitcase, the constant vibration can make the bag buzz or move slightly on conveyor belts. Baggage handlers are trained to treat any vibrating luggage as suspicious until the source is identified. Many bags have been opened simply to locate a toothbrush that turned on during transit. Travelers usually pack them inside toiletry bags, bathroom travel kits, or grooming organizers. Using the travel lock or removing the battery before packing can prevent the toothbrush from activating during flight. The next item causes the exact same problem, except the vibration tends to be even louder. 8. Electric razors. Electric razors follow the same pattern as toothbrushes. They are perfectly legal to travel with, but if the power button is pressed accidentally inside luggage, the razor may run continuously during transit. That buzzing noise can easily alarm baggage staff. Because the baggage system is automated, unusual vibrations often cause luggage to be removed for inspection. Travelers usually pack razors inside toiletry bags, shaving kits, bathroom travel pouches. Most modern razors include a travel lock feature designed specifically to prevent this issue. Activating that lock before packing can save your bag from unnecessary inspection. 7. Flammable paint thinners and solvents. Many household liquids are classified as hazardous materials in aviation. Paint thinners, acetone, and other strong solvents are highly flammable and can produce dangerous vapor inside a sealed environment. If a container leaks during flight, the vapor could ignite under the right conditions. For that reason, these chemicals are prohibited from checked luggage. Travelers sometimes pack them unintentionally when transporting painting supplies, hobby materials, or repair kits. Airport screening systems identify these liquids quickly because of their chemical properties. To aviation regulators, they are not cleaning products or craft supplies. They are flammable, hazardous liquids. Now we move into the category responsible for some of the most frequent lithium battery incidents on aircraft, and it involves gear many travelers pack without thinking twice. 6. Camera or drone spare batteries. Photographers and drone owners often travel with multiple spare batteries. Each battery may look small, but together they represent a large amount of stored energy. Lithium batteries can become dangerous if damaged, crushed, or short-circuited. That's why aviation rules require spare lithium batteries to be transported in the cabin, not inside checked luggage. Travelers frequently leave them inside, camera backpacks, drone carrying cases, electronics gear pouches. Experts recommend placing batteries in protective cases or covering the terminals with tape. This prevents the batteries from touching metal objects and creating a short circuit during travel. 5. Medical device spare batteries. Many medical devices rely on rechargeable battery packs. Examples include CPAP machines, portable oxygen concentrators, and mobility assistance devices. Passengers are allowed to travel with these batteries. However, spare lithium battery packs must be carried in the cabin and protected from short circuits. Loose batteries inside checked luggage are a significant concern because they cannot be monitored if something goes wrong. Travelers are encouraged to store medical batteries in protective cases or original packaging when flying. The next item surprises travelers because it doesn't contain a battery at all, but it can still trigger serious concern in airport security systems. 4. Fuel-powered tools. Tools powered by gasoline or other fuels cannot travel on aircraft if they contain any residual fuel. Even when a tool appears empty, small amounts of fuel vapor may remain inside the tank. That vapor can ignite if exposed to heat or sparks. Items commonly affected include chainsaws, camping lanterns, portable generators, and fuel-powered trimmers. Because of the fire risk, airlines require fuel systems to be completely drained and cleaned before transport. Many travelers discover this rule only after their bag is inspected at the airport. The next item is something airport security officers say they remove from luggage more than almost anything else. 3. Power banks hidden inside other items. Travelers hide power banks everywhere. Inside backpacks, inside jacket pockets, inside toiletry organizers. Sometimes they even forget they packed one at all. Once luggage enters the baggage system, however, any lithium battery inside the bag becomes a potential fire risk. Because power banks contain concentrated lithium cells, they are restricted to carry-on baggage only. If a scanner detects one inside checked luggage, the bag is usually opened so the battery can be removed. It's one of the most common mistakes travelers make when packing electronics. 2. Tablets and large electronics packed loosely. Tablets, e-readers, and other large electronics contain flat lithium batteries that can be damaged by pressure. Inside the cargo hold, heavy luggage may be stacked on top of smaller devices. If the battery inside a tablet becomes punctured or crushed, it could overheat or ignite. For that reason, aviation experts recommend carrying valuable electronics in the passenger cabin whenever possible. Devices often found inside checked luggage include tablets, e-readers, portable gaming systems. Keeping them in your carry-on not only protects the battery, it protects the device itself from damage. 1. The forgotten power bank. And finally, the #1 item travelers accidentally leave inside their checked luggage, the power bank. It's small, it's easy to forget, and millions of travelers carry one every day. But aviation safety rules are clear. If a device exists purely to store electrical energy and charge other electronics, it must travel in the passenger cabin. Because if a lithium battery overheats inside the cargo hold, there is no passenger or crew member nearby to react immediately. That's why power banks are among the most frequently confiscated items discovered during baggage screening. Removing it from your suitcase before check-in can prevent your bag from being opened. So before your next trip, take a few seconds and check what's inside your luggage. Because removing the wrong item at home is much easier than discovering it was confiscated after you land. Safe travels.